Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the postseason. Ohio playoffs have arrived. Steubenville Big Red and Desales tonight from Harding Stadium on WTOV9's high school football game of the week. I'm Bill Phillips along with Ray Suckoch, and tonight Steubenville Big Red plays game one in what they hope is a road to a state championship, Ray. They'll play it in inclement weather. It's warm out, but it's very, very wet.
Well, field conditions will definitely have a part to play in the game tonight. That's obvious. But Big Red's been a group of overachievers all year, Bill, and they're going to have to do just that to beat a good DeSales football team.
Line of scrimmage may be the key.
No question about it. Big Red's going to have to stop the run. DeSales is a run-oriented team. They're going to have to try and open it up a little bit offensively, and that may be tough to do tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds.
By the way, nice hat. Where's mine?
Thank you, bud. I got 3 dozen ordered.
All right. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this. And welcome back to Harding Stadium. We are ready for playoff action. DeSales and Big Red from Harding Stadium. Bill Phillips along with Ray Suckoch. And Ray, it begins tonight. It's a new season. Everybody 0-0.
That's what the kids work for 10 weeks. Get about it any way that you can. Get enough points to get in, and you're all even.
DeSales 5-5 during the regular season. Big Red, the #1 seed, at 8-2, and Big Red will get the football first. And on the return, big running room
Mike
out across
Abbott.
the 30, 35, 40-yard line, down the sideline,
Abbott.
inside the 40. He's still going. Abbott inside the 20,
Oh,
still on his
my.
feet to the 15-yard line.
Mike Abbott, sophomore special team sensation, Bill. Been doing it all year. Outstanding effort to get Big Red immediately inside the red zone. What an effort, Bill. It opened up the middle, and he got, here you go, right here. Mike Abbott, end zone camera, 1 tackle, strong run. This is all speed. He slipped the tackle, and he's immediately to the perimeter. Here's what's most impressive, Bill. The last guy makes an attempt at him, and he almost runs through this tackle. What an effort. Took him out of bounds. Mike Abbott.
Ball lined up at the 25-yard line for Big Red, 1st and 10. Play action fake. Outside, Lester has it at the 10. Sidesteps the man, and he is down at the 1-yard line.
Johnny
Big
Lester.
Red has come out on fire.
D'Angelo, play action pass on the money. Just set a school record with that completion right there. All-time leading completion leader at Steubenville High School.
Let's take a look at the Big Red offense.
Johnny Lester.
D'Angelo, the backs and receivers. D'Angelo at quarterback. Let's take a look at your offensive line up front doing the blocking tonight. You'll notice David Ross in. Handoff, and it is not going to be enough. Spotted down inside the 1-yard line.
Jesse Turner off the left side.
Jesse Turner pounded the left side, close to the goal line.
We mentioned David Ross in at a guard position. Dan Smith lost with a broken arm to Big Red, so he is out of the lineup. We'll take a look at DeSales offense in just a bit. Right now, it's all about Big Red, their special teams and offense. 2nd and 1. Handoff, Turner straight ahead. Second effort, and he is, looked like he got into the end zone. The officials, no signal. They'll spot him down a little bit closer. Let's take a look at the DeSales defense while we have an opportunity. There's a look at the defensive line for DeSales. They have their backs against the wall right now. A couple of good linebackers, Brown and Ambrose, in the defensive backfield right now. They're up in the box trying to stop the Big Red run as Big Red has it 3rd and 1 from inside the 1. It's more like 3rd and a couple of inches for Big Red as they try to get that all-important first score in this playoff matchup between Big Red and DeSales. Hartman in motion. Handoff, stretch play. Turner, he won't get there. Knifing through and making the defensive stop. Scott Wintering.
DeSales come up big defensively on the right side against Big Red's left side here. Smith is lost there. Big Red going with a substitution, but that makes no difference. They've been playing sophomore linemen all year. No push on the offensive line here. Immediate penetration. And Big Red in a 4th and goal from the 2.
Big play here for Big Red, trying to get on the board. Turner in the eye. Hartman comes in motion. Play action. Back of the end zone. He had a man open, but hit on the throw by Wintering. It's going to be knocked down, incomplete, and wide open in the back of the end zone was Banks. If D'Angelo had the time, he had Banks open in the back of the end zone.
Boy, for Big Red's faithful here, you got to hope that this is not a sign of things to come. On the last 3 offensive plays, Desales' defensive line definitely dominated what was going on in there. D'Angelo on the play action, Wintering, immediate penetration.
Slipped out of his hand. Unfortunate break for Steubenville Big Red as Banks was in the back of the end zone all alone. D'Angelo saw him. The ball just slipped out of his hands, and the weather is going to play a factor in this ball game. 1st and 10 for Desales here in the first quarter, and they'll run the option down the line. And slipping down at the 5-yard line, the quarterback, Dino Rosano for Desales. We take a look at the Desales offense. Rosano at quarterback, Scooty Penn's brother, Dwayne Penn at fullback, and there's a look at the rest of the backs and receivers. Offensive line, good size up front, led by the center, David Shelby. We'll take a look at the Big Red defense in just a moment. 2nd and 5 for Desales. We've got motion, ball's on the ground. It's picked up, and I think we're going to have a motion penalty against Desales, and that's a break for Big Red.
It may have been a dead ball. If it wasn't a dead ball, Big Red can refuse it. We're giving the dead ball signal right there. Desales immediately on the line to run the next play. No change in play calling here.
Half the distance to the goal.
2nd and 10, still going with the same play. Run-oriented team here. Let's see if they go option.
Wide splits on the line of scrimmage.
Look at that guard. They moved again.
Oh, Big Red shift is really bothering the Desales offensive line. We've seen it all regular season. It's worked very, very well, and Desales bothered by it early as Big Red, right at the last moment, they shift over into another defensive front, and that's really bothering Desales. They're jumping, and that's why they got the 2 motion penalties.
2nd and 11. Big Red's defense got to make an attempt to get Desales out of their element, and that's short yardage running situations. This obviously isn't one, and Desales gets a timeout, Bill.
Desales with a timeout. They want to talk it over. I'm sure the coach is going to say, now if these guys shift, don't move. It's just they're making a move to try and get you to jump. Big Red defensively talking things over with the defensive coaches right now. 8:35 to go, first quarter of play. Nothing. Big Red, a great opportunity off of the big kickoff return to start the game. Playoff watch on Monday nights at 11:30 with George Kellis and John Simonson. And hopefully a lot of teams will still be alive after week 1 of the Ohio postseason. And of course, we're heading into week 1 of the West Virginia postseason. So the playoff watch, Monday night at 11:30, find out where your team is headed in the postseason. Right now, Big Red's defense wants to shove Desales into the end zone. That's where they want to head as they talk things over defensively. And while we have a chance, let's take a look at the Big Red defense.
Well, Bill, obviously, as we get a look at this Big Red defense.
Banks, Bill, Chester, Kane, Dobson up front. Good group of linebackers, Gerber, Hartman, Kenefick, and the defensive backfield for Big Red.
Field position important in these conditions, Bill. Big Red's defense got to hold here, create something offensively.
Desales throws it, and it is incomplete. And it'll bring up 3rd down, and from the look of that play, Desales does not look comfortable at all trying to throw the football.
No, that was an ugly play there, Bill. The quarterback didn't know whether he wanted to throw it or pitch it, it looked like, and there was definite confusion, and that's good for the home team. See right here, little veer option look, a little swing pass.
Whistles down on the field, and we have the ball respotted for 3rd down and 11. Ball at the 1-yard line of Desales.
Desales trying to out formation Big Red with wide splits in the inside.
Option, quarterback keeps it, and a nice play outside by Lester. Came out, took the legs out from Rosano, Rosano down at about the 7-yard line. They'll spot it back at about the 6. It'll bring up 4th down and long, and DeSales will kick it away. Well, we've seen that. We saw it in the Buckeye local game. Lester really plays well on an island. He had to face the pitch and the option quite a bit against Buckeye local. Made a number of big open field tackles. That one, a very big play for Big Red's defense.
Stayed home, 3-and-out situation, just what the doctor ordered.
Wow, that is a punt. Punted it over the 50-yard line. It'll be down at the Big Red 41-yard line. A huge kick for DeSales, but Big Red has the football. We are scoreless with 7:52 to go in the first quarter. Play Big Red looking to get on the board. We're back with more after this. Welcome back to WTOV9's high school football game of the week. Playoff action. Big Red and DeSales from Harding Stadium. Round number 1. The ball's on the ground, and it is going to be recovered by DeSales. Turner on the carry. The ball popped out after he was hit. It is recovered by DeSales. It'll be DeSales football inside Big Red territory. On the fumble recovery, Dwayne Penn, number 2 for DeSales.
See, simple cross-buck action. Turner.
Helmet on the football.
Helmet on the football. Is going to get it out most of the time. DeSales in business here. Trying to out formation. Big Red wide splits, 3 receivers right. Bill single back.
Motion penalty against DeSales. DeSales keeps pointing at Big Red. Big Red's done this all year long, and it has worked all year long. Coaches complaining to the officials. They're upset, but they're not going to win that argument.
Coach Jacoby right there, 14-year veteran. There's Coach Suckoch. One of his better jobs of coaching this year. This team has overachieved all year.
Option, nothing doing. Gerber there on the stop. Rosano came down the line, and Gerber came up and just swallowed him whole.
Justin Gerber did a nice job staying home, playing his read. They're running off the dive. There's a veer option here. It's a true option here. With reading the backers. Backers bite on the dive. Gerber stays home.
2nd down and 15 from the 46. 7:18 to go. First quarter. Scoreless at Harding Stadium. Big Red, a great opportunity. Went by the boards. Now their defense trying to get the football back. Banks chasing him down. Can't get to him. Hartman. And he's knocked out of bounds. Rosano knocked out of bounds at about the Big Red 45-yard line. Good pressure from the Big Red defense, but a positive play for DeSales.
Get back in, Mike. Michael Abbott also in on this play.
See right here, Rosano on the rollout. Banks trying to maintain, contain, gets a shot at him. Nothing there. Gerber on the play.
Rosano rolling, throwing, has a man open. He slips down at the 36-yard line. It'll be enough for a first down on the reception.
Well, he looked good on that. Rosano looked good on that.
Don Gibson, number 20, making the catch for DeSales.
8 sprint. Ball's on the money.
Right there, Joe.
Got separation between him and the defensive back. They flooded the zone over here, 2 receivers. Getting a new ball in. We're going to see plenty of that tonight.
Rained hard before kickoff, and now it's turned into a fine miss with that field very, very wet. Footing will be a problem all night long. And here, that bad footing pays off for Big Red as Big Red defense comes pouring through. Banks leading the way, and they get a stop and a 5-yard loss.
Justin Banks looking for his ninth sack of the year. I believe he leads the team in sacks. Good pressure by the Big Red defense. DeSales really big up front. Big time challenge for Big Red's football team here this evening.
Rosano having problems getting the mud off of his hands. Looks like a quarterback option, and he's taken down. A big play defensively for Big Red. Coming through, Aaron Chester, number 61, as it's another sack for Big Red. And that big offensive line maybe being out-quicked right now by Big Red.
Chester, immediate pressure inside. Short drop. Aaron Chester, senior defensive lineman, coming off his block, making a play, 3rd and long.
3rd and long. I've never seen an offense where everybody is looking at wristbands trying to figure out what the play is. Handoff, nope, option on the keep, pitch. And Addington has running room, but not enough running room. He'll be short of the first down and driven down at the 38-yard line of Big Red. On the carry, Andrew Addington, number 1.
Get the veer option. Draw the linebacker on the pitch. Addington, a little bit of running room, but Big Red's playing a little bit soft. Had a long yardage to go there. Suckoch and Pruitt in the secondary making the play.
Suckoch drops back to the 10-yard line along with D'Angelo. Received the punt, and this one will bounce, and D'Angelo will just stay away from it, and it rolls out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Coffin corner from Desales, but not a bad decision by D'Angelo. You don't want to take any chances. We'll take a timeout and come back with more from this playoff matchup. Desales and Steubenville, 0-0 with 4:55 to go in the first quarter. And there's a look at the spot bar scoreboard, 0-0 as we get ready for Big Red on offense. Again, not much on first down. 1st and 10 from the 4. And we may have an injured Big Red player, slow to get up. And that's Banks, slow to get up, number 23, but he's up and back into the huddle. 0-0 ball game here at Harding Stadium. Bill Phillips along with Ray Suckoch and the WTOV9 sports team. Pease will split to the far side. Suckoch and Lester to the near side on 2nd down and 10 for Big Red. Turner in the backfield. D'Angelo looks outside to Pease. He can't hold on. Hit as the ball arrived and knocked out of his hands. It's incomplete. They'll bring up 3rd down.
Boy, field position, Bill. Look at the difference here. You go Big Red going for 1st and goal inside the 4 to got their backs on the wall all within the first quarter. Big Red's going to have to pass the ball, Bill. Looks like they're going to have to do that. They're not moving the ball on the run.
Michael Abbott checks into the ball game with the play. Abbott, wearing number 9, had the fine return on the opening kickoff. Joe Pease checks out of the ball game. 3rd down and long for Big Red. Reverse, and here comes Abbott, and he's just out of the end zone, making the stop defensively for Desales, number 35, Blake McAllister.
Well, I'll tell you, Big Red not getting anything going offensively. Desales controlling the line of scrimmage. Abbott almost gets tagged for a safety, and Desales going to get good offensive field position here. Most surely on their side of the ball.
D'Angelo will take the snap in the back of the end zone. He will get it away. Good kick. Wobbly punt will bounce at the 43, and it'll be picked up by Addington. He's across the 45, back to the 40, and he steps out of a tackler, and he's still on his feet before he's driven down at the 35-yard line. So Desales playing field position right now, and they have good field position at the Big Red 35.
The momentum has definitely changed here, and it's all in favor of Desales at this time. Big Red's defense back on the field in tough field position. Desales immediately on the ball.
Zano looking to throw, steps away from Luke Hartman.
Him.
He'll tuck it and run. Takes his shot from Anthony Suckoch, who comes off along with Pruitt, and he's driven down at the 31-yard line. But a pickup of about 6 on the play, and that's a positive note for Desales on a 1st down.
Big Red missed an opportunity here defensively. Rosano break and contain. Abbott trying to come off the block. Hartman had the shot, slipped the tackle, made a positive out of nothing. Abbott's in for Jesse Turner defensively. And the dive. Option.
Rosano on the option. He'll have the 1st down inside the 25-yard line down to the 20. And right now, that offensive line of Desales, a big offensive line, is dominating Big Red's front 4.
No question about it. Desales immediately on the ball, not doing anything. They're just helmet on helmet, and this was a major concern for the Big Red defense. Coming into their preparation for this game, there's movement they're not called.
Handoff and across the 20-yard line with the, we'll bring up second down and 7 for Desales. And again, they're right up on the line of scrimmage, and Rosano comes up, looks at his wrist, makes a call, and then all the linemen, the receivers and backs, look at their wristbands and match everything up, and they're back on the ground with the option and a strong run inside the 10-yard line and another. Desales first down.
Desales spreading Big Red out on defense and running the ball up the middle.
Henderson on the carry.
Nothing fancy, fullback dive into the secondary. You're in trouble when your defensive backs are making all these tackles.
Option. Running room, Addington, he will get to the corner of the end zone, touchdown Desales.
Well, you know, like Bill, it was just a matter of time before Desales did that. I mean, everything was going their way since the opening drive. As soon as we got the 55-yard punt, everything swung to Desales. They maintained field position, and they pounded in. Big Red needs to do something defensively to stop this run.
5 plays, 36 yards on the touchdown drive. Desales to attempt the extra point. Snap down, kick up, and it is no good. So no good. 6-0 Desales on top on the spot bar scoreboard. 6-0 Desales over Big Red on the spot bar scoreboard.
You got to get Big Red on there instead of the Steubenville. You got to get Big Red, you got to get spot bar scoreboard on there. You got to do that, man.
6-0 Ray. Big opening return for Big Red. They get turned away at the goal line. What do they need to do to emotionally, because I'm sure it took the wind out of their sails when they didn't get that first touchdown. What do they need to do now that they're down 6-0 to get some emotion going and get back into this ball game with 1:45 to go in the first quarter?
Field position, Bill. Field position and move the sticks. You know, you're down 6-0. It's in the first quarter. A lot of football to go. Desales, you know, looks like they're going to win this quarter if Big Red doesn't get field position. But you got 3 to go. Field position is going to determine the outcome of this game, Bill. Good run back here. Move the sticks a couple of times. You're back in business.
Also back deep.
Big Red, speaking of trying to get field position, moving the sticks, 4 and out, 1 and out, 3 and out. And they were inside the Desales 5-yard line with cracks at the end zone, but Desales came up with a couple of big defensive stops as they get ready to kick it off, leading 6-0.
Well, you know, Desales is a good football team. They play a big-time schedule. They're a Division I team playing in Division III schedule.
And they can't stop. Oh, and Abbott had some running room as he tried to make the cut as he's out to the 35. I'll tell you what, if I'm Desales, I don't kick it to Michael Abbott because he owns this return. And I'll tell you what, Big Red special teams have performed well when they've had an opportunity. And here we take a look at Abbott again, and he had some running room once he turned the corner.
Abbott getting up inside the wedge, and the rest is himself. Got there, switched the ball, fundamentally sound, got the ball to the outside, and the field conditions brought him down. Turner and Liggett in the backfield.
Ball's on the ground, D'Angelo gets on top of it. That's the one thing Big Red can't afford to make is mistakes. And we talked during the lineups, Ray, about the offensive line for Big Red. They've made some moves, and that doesn't help as you go into the first round of the playoffs because of injury. As we mentioned, Dan Smith out with an arm injury, so you move Van Voltenberg to tackle, and David Ross moves in at the guard position. So how long does that take to gel? You only have a week to do it.
They're not going to do it here. You know, the only opportunity Big Red had was the fact that Ross got a little bit of playing time. But this is a big-time challenge here for the Big Red offense. Shotgun formation.
Well, D'Angelo has time here. He looks across the middle. He threw it to the linebacker. And on the return, Dan Brown is down inside the 20 and inside the 15-yard line. D'Angelo had plenty of time. He looked across the middle, and then went late. And you never want to go late, and it is picked off by Brown. And DeSales in business again.
Exactly, Bill. Rule number one, never go late over the middle. D'Angelo throws into a crowd. Everybody's covered, tried to squeeze it in. DeSales in business again. Big Red defense can't afford to give up any more this early.
On the sideline for this first defensive play for Big Red is Banks. He was shaken up, looks to check back into the ball game on second down. Pitch here, Addington, plenty of running room. He cuts back inside the 5, and he's down at about the 3-yard line.
Made big-time problems for Big Red defensively on this option. Everybody's biting on the dive. DeSales immediately on the ball, and Addington into the secondary untouched. Losing contain real quick, Big Red's defense is.
Motion penalty against DeSales. Take a look at some of these offensive linemen for DeSales. Jim Holly, 6'2", 280 pounds. Number 58. Number 63, Andy Wills, 6'3", 280. That's the right side of the offensive line.
Yeah,
that's some
big.
beef.
They're big time. 110 kids on the football team. Come on, be for real, man.
DeSales, Gerber there, knocks down Rosano, the quarterback, and it'll push DeSales back near the 10-yard line. David Shelby, 6'3", 220 pounds. He's a small guy on the line at the center position. We should take another look at it.
Strong tradition at DeSales football-wise, able to get good players all around the Columbus area. That's what you do when you get a program going for you.
Let's take a timeout. The Spot Bar scoreboard, 6-0 DeSales on top of Big Red. We're back with more after this. Welcome back to the Spot Bar scoreboard. DeSales 6, Big Red nothing. 12 minutes on the clock as we get ready for the second quarter of play. DeSales knocking on the door again. And they will run the option again. Henderson, Luther Henderson inside the 5 into the end zone, touchdown.
Untouched, Bill.
And DeSales on top, 12-0, the extra point to come. And DeSales will go for 2.
Big wide splits on the offensive line. Bill spread the defense out. Coach Piro was concerned about this all week. They're going to spread us out and pound it inside. That's exactly what they're doing. Nobody's even within the ball. 4 plays, 14 yards.
Coming off of the interception.
Too easy.
By Brown, the linebacker. So the turnover costly, and we have motion or offside. Somebody moved, somebody jumped. It just depends on what side of the football. Well, the opening kickoff, great return from Abbott. Big Red took it down inside the 5-yard line. They were turned away with really 3 cracks from inside the 2. And since then, it has been all DeSales. Field position and then points, and now going for the 2-point conversion here.
You got to think the mental edge that happened there when Big Red doesn't get in on the opening drive, holds defensively, and then the kick punts the ball 60 yards. And that's a big mental swing for these young kids right here.
DeSales will go for 2 from out near the 8-yard line. Rosano rolling near side, throws, and it is incomplete. Anthony Suckoch on the coverage. Donnie Gibson, the intended receiver. It's incomplete, and it'll remain a 12-0 ball game. And if Big Red wants to get back in this one, they're going to need to get that offense going.
Quick roll play at. Throwing the football all the way. Wasn't close to being completed. Big Red's got it there. You see Bob Merriman, Wintersville Trophy Shop.
Spot Bar scoreboard, 12-0 DeSales on top of Big Red here early in the second quarter. 11:56 to go. Second quarter, we've just started.
Let's see if Abbott can work his magic here. Trying its only bright spot offensively for Big Red so far.
Well, if I'm Abbott, I'm not expecting to get the football.
That's okay. Kick it to Nate.
Nate Hubbard, of course, we saw him on a game of the week, 88 yards with a touchdown return against Buckeye Local. Big Red special teams have been solid all year long, and so far tonight they have been the big bright spot on 2 kickoff returns. Maybe we can break a big one to get it in the end zone right here.
Need something to happen positive for Big Red here on this drive. Big Red needs
comes
points.
Down. It'll be Abbott taking it at the goal line. At the 1. He's out across the 15-20 and tripped up and dives ahead across the 20-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Big Red at the 22-yard line. Okay, Ray, you can put your coaching cap on offensively. What are we going to go with?
Right now, offensively, I'm spreading people out, and I'm going to let D'Angelo's try and throw the football short here, try and move these sticks a little bit. But we got to get time. The offensive line's got to get into the Desales defensive line's feet, get their hands down, and throw the football a little bit here.
Hartman on the carry, not much.
Going to try and establish something, Bill, to respect that, but you know, it's early in the game, and it's obvious right now Desales is controlling the line of scrimmage, and Big Red's going to have to spread things out here and throw the ball a little bit.
MVP of the game tonight, if Big Red's going to throw the football, maybe the ball boys down on the sideline, keeping those footballs dry, keeping the mud off them so D'Angelo can get a good grip on the football. He comes to the line of scrimmage. Jesse Turner talking things over with his quarterback. Pease and Suckoch split to the far side of the field. 2nd and 10 from the 23. Big Red down 12. Turner on the stretch. Gets the corner. Looking for a block. Driven out of bounds after a short gain. Desales did a nice job defensively of stringing that one out.
Oh, strung it out, and good athletes getting to the football. It's a good football team you're looking at right here. Good speed. Jesse usually is able to get to the perimeter. You don't know whether it's him as a player, you know, coming off his injury, or Desales just being as quick as him, and Turner's down.
And apparently Jesse Turner down inside the fence underneath the stands on the far side of the field. Hopefully he's okay.
That fence comes into play every week.
Most times it's just someone gets their foot stuck in there, but you always worry that you hit one of those support poles, and hopefully he's okay, and it's just that his maybe his cleat's stuck in the fence and they have to get him out. We have an official timeout down on the field for the injury. We'll take a timeout as well. 10:51 on the clock. 12-0 Desales on the Spot Bar scoreboard. Big Red looking to get something going offensively. Back with more after this. Back at Harding Stadium, the Spot Bar scoreboard. Desales 12, Steubenville Big Red nothing. Jesse Turner help from the field, limping to the bench, and he'll be checked out by the Big Red medical staff. 3rd down and 9 from the 24 for Big Red. Hubbard goes in motion. Shotgun for D'Angelo, looking to set up the screen. Liggett has it. Balance drill, gets up, and he won't have much. The officials go down as well. On a dry field, Liggett probably makes some pretty good yardage there, but he had to worry about just keeping his feet after he caught the football.
Big Red had receivers open deep. Play wasn't called to go there. Play was called the short pass here. Liggett does a nice job. His knee might have been down right there, but I don't think them short passes are going to get it.
Official getting sandwiched as we take a look at the punt now, coming down at the 50-yard line, picked up by Desales. There's a clip.
No clip, right?
No call.
No clip.
And he is going to hear about that. Official at the 50-yard line. That was right in front of the official. No call.
And Desales immediately on the ball. These are all predetermined plays. You know what I think, Bill? I think that they just got to be calling out numbers, man. They go with the same formation every time. 3 receivers right, single back, 1 receiver left, and they're giving out numbers. They're calling numbers in 17, whatever. They look and play 17, and they're going with it.
Option down the line, running room for Addington, cuts inside, he's down the sideline, foot race with Banks. Banks will dive and save the touchdown. Addington inside the 10-yard line.
That's right the way that's exactly how you run the option right there. Option the OB, got the safety coming up, taking the quarterback. You get a wide receiver block on the DB there, you see the bite, the pitch. Makes Brian Pruitt miss, and we're off and running. Big Red's in major trouble.
Banks tracks him down from behind. 1st and goal from the 8 for DeSales. Addington tripped up. He'll be knocked down back at the 10-yard line as he tried to come around. Tripped up, it'll be a loss on the play. And the one thing you also notice about DeSales, with the number of players they have on this ball club, you don't see a lot of guys going both ways.
Oh, no, it's a major advantage that they have. This is a big city school. I mean, this is no fluke here. Everybody knows, everybody looked in the playoff trail, kept an eye on DeSales. Everybody was happy when they lost 4 in a row. They're a playoff-tested team. They got quality football players in the area, and they get the best. They don't do it with mirrors, no question about that. Fullback dive, quarterback keep. Gerber on the play.
DeSales started with Worthington, lost 20-0, and they
look at the size of them players, Billy. Get a good camera on-field look at them.
Right now, a little confusion.
You look at linemen, you look at their butts, their thighs, and their calves, and look how big they are. That's how you one-on-one block.
Option again, and option late. Addington there, touchdown DeSales.
Wow.
It looked like Rosano was about to lose the football, and he got it back and shoveled it over to Addington, who was in good option relationship, and he came up with the touchdown. As we take another look from our end zone camera, Don Sloan.
True read right there. True read, fullback dive. Nobody there. Nobody's been there all night for Big Red. This quarterback's been running wild all night. They're either getting knocked down or they're missed assignments, but it's just too easy.
49 yards, 4 plays, and a touchdown. And the extra point is good, and it is now 19-0. DeSales on top with 8:23 on the clock. The Spot Bar scoreboard. DeSales 19, Steubenville Big Red nothing. We are back. The Spot Bar scoreboard, 19-0. DeSales on top. 8:23 to go in the first half of play. It's been all big. DeSales on the kickoff, and Abbott will let it slide by, and he'll pick it up right at the goal line, and the official said it touched the goal line, so it's a touchback ball at the 20 for Big Red. I was going to say it's all Big Red on the special teams in terms of kickoff returns, but when they get the football offensively, they haven't been able to make things go, and that's what they need to get here as the drive started.
Kicking the ball away from Abbott, Bill. That's what you want to do, and pin him.
Good call.
In a corner. Good look, good camera work there. That couldn't have been Sloan on the camera. I can't believe that Sloan.
3 straight possessions where DeSales has scored. 5 plays, 36 yards. 4 plays, 14 yards. 4 plays, 49 yards. And DeSales has the lead, 19-0. D'Angelo looking to throw. Running out of time, and he throws it into the first row of the stands. And this isn't like the NFL. You have to give that one back.
Big Red, nobody open in their patterns here. DeSales playing pass all the way, getting some kind of little bit of pressure. The rain coming down now. Big Red's just going to have to try and every play they're throwing. No doubt about it. DeSales still got 7 guys in the box in their 50 defense.
These goes in motion. D'Angelo looks to step up in the pocket. Footing just not there, and he's taken down.
They're just teeing off, Bill, and they're all trying to meet at the quarterback.
Mark Wilson, number 33, gets the stop for DeSales. Big Red right now in the huddle. You can see Banks talking with his offensive linemen. Say, guys, we got to get something going. We've got to sustain our blocks.
Immediate pressure. DeSales defensive line beat Big Red's offensive line off the ball. You know, Big Red's offensive line's done an outstanding job all season. Came along as a unit, but tonight they're getting it put to them right now.
D'Angelo looking to throw out of the shotgun, running out of time. He won't have any time, and he didn't have anybody open.
And this ain't going to get nothing but worse if Big Red can't move the sticks. DeSales is going to get good field position again. D'Angelo in the shotgun. Still can't hold him out, getting big time pressure on him. Pocket collapses. Nowhere to go. Big Red's receivers can't get open. They're going to punt here. They're going to get the ball on Big Red's side of the 50 and going to have a short field to work with again. Their drives have only been 40 and 50 yards, Bill.
D'Angelo just gets it off, and it's a short kick, and it'll come down at about the 39-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 DeSales at the Big Red 39-yard line.
That's not good. Too short of a field to expect your defense to stop this offense. And Big Red right now can't do anything about it. The only thing they can do defensively here is to try and stop the bleeding some way. Turnover. Turnover's a key here. Need a turnover, Bill.
Well, one thing I know you love, Ray, is basketball, and WTOV9 has basketball Saturday. NBA on NBC. Philadelphia and Washington. Why is that such an exciting matchup with Allen Iverson out of the lineup? It would be a little more exciting if he was in it, but Michael Jordan playing for the Wizards, and we have him for you here Saturday afternoon at 6 o'clock as Chester gets the stop at the line of scrimmage. He'll bring up 2nd down and long for DeSales. Now the big thing for Big Red, you want to get back into the game offensively and obviously get on the scoreboard, but right now defensively, you got to pick that chin up and come out with some pride and get that stop.
You got to make something happen, Bill. I mean, something positive's got to happen for Big Red now. Can't wait any longer to do something positive. And that ain't the answer right there. When your secondary's making tackle after tackle, it's a bad sign for you up front.
That offensive line for DeSales so far tonight, Ray, I'd sum it up: big, fast, and mean.
Oh, definitely. Definitely a good football team with the schedule that they play when they're playing the Molars and they're playing Detroit Catholic. Come on. Who's Division III and who's not Division III? That's all I want to know.
And off straight ahead, and that's Luther Henderson, and he will get to the end zone. Touchdown, DeSales, and it's 25-0. DeSales on top with 5:51 to go in the first half of play. How you look at these teams, you mentioned their last. Take another look at it.
Simple dive, nothing fancy. You don't have to do anything fancy when you're blowing people off the ball. The Big Red is missing tackles at the line of scrimmage. Every time there's been a big run, there's been a missed tackle at the line of scrimmage. And you miss tackles against a good football team.
Kick is good.
That's why you're down 25-0.
Extra point is good. 26-0 now with 5:51 to go in the first half of play on the Spot Bar scoreboard. We'll stay here and talk about it. And Ray, you talked about that schedule. 5-5 gets DeSales into the playoffs. Put some big playoff points on this schedule. They lost their final game of the year to Ironton 20-10. Detroit, as you mentioned, came up a winner over DeSales 28-16. Moeller, a winner over DeSales 20-10. Bishop Watterson 41-10 over DeSales. Their final 4 games they lost. They came up a winner over St. Charles 35-28. Winner over
They didn't beat nobody. They were big time schools though.
4 straight possessions. Their last one now. 3 plays 39 yards. First one, 5 plays 36, 4 plays 14, 4 plays 49, 3 plays 39. The disturbing stat there is the fact that they haven't started a drive in their last 4 possessions on their side of the 50-yard line.
6 playoff teams on DeSales' schedule. 5-5. That's why you get in with 5 wins.
Hubbard will take the return, takes the football to the 10, across the 15-yard line, and out to the 20-yard line. Now the big question is, can Big Red get something started offensively? They have to move the sticks.
Oh, to say the least, Bill, they got to move the sticks. They got to get points. I mean, they got to force. You know, the field position game is over. I figure Bobby Dog was going to open up his bag of tricks here sooner or later and try and get something going, because the conventional way ain't working.
Well, like you said moments ago, they're just meeting at the quarterback. They don't respect the run right now. They don't respect the pass. They're just putting their ears back and going after the quarterback. And now Hubbard's going to get to the corner, and he'll be knocked down after a short gain.
You know, trying to run the ball here and there to try and get a little bit of linebacker concern here to play the line of scrimmage, but the Desales up front, they're playing the 50 defense, and they're just beating Big Red at the point of attack. Similar to what happened to Big Red at the Boardman game, playing a very big physical team and just giving up terrible field position.
Option down the line with D'Angelo. He'll look to keep, cuts it back, has some running room. He's across the 30 and out close to first down yardage at the 31-yard line, and I think he's going to have the first down.
Good effort by Mike D'Angelo. You can see Big Red's offensive linemen doing the best they can to just stay on their block. Marky Batt still got a tough assignment right here with this middle guard, doing a good job just trying to stay on him. Russell Kane and D'Angelo right there. Nice cutback by the senior quarterback, getting across the grain to get Big Red's what?
Second first down of the game. D'Angelo will come out to the 31. The ball's on the ground, and it is going to be recovered. Still loose, and the signal comes in. It's recovered by Desales with 4:38 to go. They will have it once again. First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and here comes Desales again right out on the ball. And I'll tell you, you got to look about this game being over at halftime, and you know you got to work like heck to keep these kids' mind into the game mentally, because it's not an easy assignment right now for anybody associated with Big Red.
Rosano option down the line, steps away from a tackler. He has a first down near the 20-yard line with 4:30 to go in the first half of play.
Best option I've seen run all year, Bill. Best option. This is a true option here, making a read here off the fullback dive. Option in the perimeter, stepping through Banks' tackle.
They never lose the pitch relationship.
Right. Just like we did for the Texas Longhorns. That's what the Longhorns used to do with James Street, Jimmy Burleson.
We have a timeout down on the field. And we will take a break with 4:30 to go in the first half of play. On the Spot Bar scoreboard, Desales 26, Steubenville nothing. Back at Harding Stadium, 26-0 Desales over Big Red on the Spot Bar scoreboard. Desales first and 10 from the 21-yard line. Addington into the secondary. Addington, flag on the play. He's into the end zone, but this one may come back. I think we're going to have a hold or an illegal block. Flag came in from the near side.
Another big hole, regardless of the outcome of this. Another big hole up the middle. Got hit at the line of scrimmage by one Big Red player. Shook that tackle and scampered 20-some yards for the touchdown. Gap side block, double team at the point of attack. There's the hold on Banks. Step through a tackle. Missed tackles the name of the game this evening. I mean, like, this is a good football team, but just missing too many tackles, Bill.
Got to wrap up. The Desales sideline looking very comfortable, although it still rains here at Harding Stadium. And why not? You're on top 26-0.
Everybody got the game planned on their arm with a wristband, as you stated earlier, Bill, and calling the play, and they're going after it. There's the
Pitch.
option. Nobody
Addington
there.
has some room to run, gets a block, has a first down.
No, he's short. He's 10 yards short. Saw the wrong sticker there, Billy. You're getting too excited. But regardless of that, Bill, nobody on the perimeter for Big Red. You could tell this is a well thought out scheme here that DeSales is running. Tight end coming down hard on that dive. The defensive end coming hard on the dive. And the pitch man is into the secondary.
Have to give DeSales credit. Ronnie Sensor out on the outside, continuing to block all the way through the play. Flag on the play. Now comes in late, thrown right on top of the tackler. Pruitt, as he brought down Henderson, and hopefully it's not a face mask, but I don't know what else it would be. Threw it right at the tackler.
Boy, when it rains, it pours.
Face mask.
I mean that in every sense of the word, Bill. As far as the weather and the happenings on the field, buddy. It's a bad day for the home team here. Just can't let it take away from the success that Big Red has had this year, Bill. Yeah, that's what you got to try and build on with these kids. Get a timeout, coach, and salvage anything you can here. These kids are down. Nobody expected this to happen. Everybody knew it was going to be a tough game, but can't give a good team like this a short field, Bill.
And it has been a short field on every possession for DeSales after their first possession when they had the ball at their own goal line, and then a big punt got them out of trouble. Big Red's offensive series: 4 plays, 1 play, 3 plays, 2 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays. I sound like Dr. Seuss. I feel like I'm reading one of Ian's books. Red fish, blue fish, yellow fish, 2 fish.
Ian's reading by himself.
Oh, he's speaking Spanish too. It's unbelievable. Saturday, Iowa and Wisconsin at noon. The Hawkeyes and the Badgers, Big Ten college football at noon right here on WTOV9. And you know what? Pretty good ball game right there. Notre Dame and Tennessee at 3:30 following our first game. So a busy Saturday, as that game will be joined in progress, and then immediately following that game you have Michael Jordan, MJ, and Michael Jordan looked pretty good last night against Atlanta.
For an old man.
31.
For an old man, he said, "Hey, I'm coming."
Said if Ray Suckosh can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, do what?
I'm not sure.
I can't hit a jumper to save my life.
Well, DeSales has it, first and goal from the 8-yard line after the Big Red timeout.
A little confusion here with the secondary here. I doubt if DeSales throws, though. Trying to draw them off. Good discipline on Big Red.
And DeSales needs a timeout, apparently, with a 26-point lead, 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, hey, no love lost between these teams. They've met 3 times before, all in the playoffs. Big Red holding a 2-1 advantage. Last time they met, I believe, was 95. Big time game. Nate Johnson scored a touchdown to win it. But yeah, this was a major concern. This was a major concern for Big Red, defense. Coach Piro talking all week about the fact they're going to spread them out and come right at us. And, it's a good football team, and they're big, and they can play. But Big Red's got to suck it up right now and just get after it any way they can and try and finish this half on an up note, Bill. Get into the locker room on an up note, anything.
I talked to Reno earlier this week about this game, and he said, we're going to have to play our best game of the season. DeSales, a tough program. They're going to come in. We're going to need to be ready. May have to play above our heads a little bit. He knew it was going to be a tough matchup. Unfortunately, that first, you just wonder how the game would have turned if Big Red could have gotten that score to start the game. Maybe it wouldn't have made much of a difference, but at least he would have come out with that energy and had that lead, and that may have changed the way things have gone.
Oh, there's no question, that definitely changed. That was a great opportunity for Big Red to get it on, because this is all emotion. Sooner or later, talent's going to take over, Bill, but it's so important on how you come out of the gate.
Addington, 8 carries, 93 yards. We've got motion. We've got people jumping all over the place.
So one positive sign Big Red's had all night defensively, putting them into different longer yardage situations.
Well, The one thing that you mentioned earlier, you never want to see a playoff game take away from a regular season accomplishment. We talked about that last week on Sports Friday, and there are a lot of teams that had great seasons that didn't even reach the playoffs. Maybe they were expected to go 2-8, and they turned around, went 6-4. And sometimes the playoffs, you know, you lose track of everything else when you're so worried about the playoffs. Big Red's had a great season coming in, and now they've got an opportunity to pick up the football, and it's going to go DeSales' way. And like you said, everything's going their way tonight.
Right. You know, that was a positive thing right there. If Big Red could have got this ball here and try and move the ball a little bit in these last 3 minutes, but nobody there. DeSales getting that good movement offensively.
Emotionally, this would be a big lift for Steubenville Big Red if they could keep DeSales out of the end zone.
Anything, looking for anything to help them.
You want to hang your hat on something.
Want to play, that's right. Coming out, want to play.
Handoff. Addington will be stopped at about the 2-yard line. It'll be close to first down yardage. It'll depend on the spot.
Abbott Pruitt making another tackle. You can see Brian Pruitt got his hands full tonight from his safety position coming up, but that's not a good sign for Big Red's defense.
Fourth down. It'll be 4th and inches as you see the fake into the line of Addington.
Just collapse Big Red defensive side there. Linebackers included. Your secondary's one-on-one, and DeSales really coming after him. And you got to feel terrible for
Rosano into the end zone, touchdown DeSales, and a big hole to run through for the DeSales quarterback. And with 2:14 to go, DeSales puts another score on the board here in the first half. It's been all DeSales tonight.
They'd be thinking right now what you're going to take, coaching staffs, what you're going to take into the locker room, what you're going to build on.
If I was a betting man, I would think Big Red's going to get down in the locker room, and for the first maybe 10 minutes or so of the half, I don't think Reno or the coaching staff will talk about blocking and tackling. I think they're going to talk about pride, desire, heart, coming back in the second half and showing what Big Red's all about.
And that's would be good enough, Bill. I mean, 32-0 this game may be out of reach right now. Maybe out of reach, but when you come out in the second half, for these kids to have an 8-2 season, to come back, the seniors, being great leaders throughout the year and putting an 8-2 record up, getting into the playoffs. These seniors are able to say they've been in the playoff 2 out of their 3 varsity years. That's a great thing, just to come back and just to play a solid second half so you can end your season, Bill, on a positive note, knowing that you didn't give up, knowing you just kept playing, and hope to God that DeSales wins the state championship.
You figure if someone's trying to take you out behind the woodshed and give you a little bit of a beating, you're going to take a couple swings at them, and hopefully you're going to connect a couple times.
Right. Go down, fight. No doubt about it.
That's the one thing. That's a trademark of Big Red football teams. They're going to go down swinging. And right now, we don't want to say it's over. We've got a whole half of football play. Crazier things have happened.
For worst comes to worst, we got to blame this on Kevin Carter. We've had a beautiful season. I mean, the field was in great shape, and Kevin Carter picks one day to bring us a storm, and look what he does.
I'll tell you what, I never realized.
I think his kids even go to Big Red.
Until I got to the stadium tonight, I never realized that Kevin Carter had more power than Mother Nature and God to affect it.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what happened.
My goodness. You wear that TOV9 gear. It's raining at Harding Stadium, and everybody's looking for Kevin Carter.
Tell you what, Kevin would love to give everyone exactly what they wanted, but it just doesn't work that way. My man does a great job. 32-0 DeSales on top on the spot bar scoreboard. And Big Red will talk things over as they get ready to return the football. 2:14 to go. First half of play. Justin Banks shaken up. He's down at the 25-yard line, being attended to by the Big Red medical staff. Take a look at what's going on Sunday. Well, of course, on Sunday, it can only mean one thing. Sports Sunday with Ryan Recker on WTOV9. That starts at 11:30. He'll have all the playoff information for high school football coming up for week number 2 of the Ohio postseason and week number 1 of West Virginia. Interviews with coaches and much more. Of course, you'll have the National Football League. The first place Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Super Bowl champions. He will take a look at that, and that has surprised many people.
Oh, how could those two phrases be together? First place, Pittsburgh Steelers. You believe that? They're back. Bill
I'll tell you what.
Cower Power.
And I'll tell you what. I know it's something that you can work with and maybe get an onside kick here or there, but if you're the DeSales opponent, that has to be the most annoying setup to a kickoff every time.
Hey, that's what you do. I mean, like, you're going to set up you're doing this for scouting now.
Well, Abbott's going to take it back on him again. Oh, and if he could run a little further on his knees, he may have gone the whole way. I'll tell you what, they do that, but it hasn't helped him on kick coverage tonight. Abbott in the kick return for Big Red. The kick return team has done a great job tonight.
Mike Abbott, definitely a bright spot here for Big Red and their kickoff return team. Bobby Lamanta, Teddy Gorman working with the specialty teams. This has been a strong unit all year.
Abbott, just a sophomore. 5'9", 140-pounder.
Now you get a look at the Big Red offensive line. Got Marky Battistill, a senior. Danny Ross, a sophomore. Mark DeChico, a sophomore. Mike Van Voltenberg and Russell Kane at the tackles, 2 juniors. So you're playing young people, and then you got a kid hurt, Danny Smith with a broken arm, another sophomore.
And he was doing a fine job on that offensive line, and just unfortunate in the last week of the regular season to come up with the injury. Now, a rumor that was going around today was that Joe Pease was going to be out of the lineup and that he had been injured in some sort of scooter accident. Apparently that didn't happen because he's been in the football game throughout, and he is lined up on the near side, so that is good news that he was not injured.
Well, you know what they say about them rumors, Bill.
Oh, man.
They only hurt you if you swallow them. They're like poison, buddy.
And that's a collision before the football got there. Thought there might be a flag as Pease was the intended receiver, and the DeSales defensive back ran into the receiver, but no call on the play.
D'Angelo didn't have a grip on the ball, wet ball. Big Red in their hurry-up 2-minute offense.
On that first drive, the ball slips out of his hands, banks wide open in the back of the end zone.
A lot of what-ifs, Bill, on that first drive, I'll tell you, Bill. But it definitely set the tone for tonight.
D'Angelo throw across the middle. Pease has it in and out of his hands and incomplete at midfield. And D'Angelo, you don't see any zip on the football, and that's because as he comes over to the sideline, I don't know if we can get a shot of it, his hands are completely covered in mud. He wipes down as much as he can, but you just can't get a grip on the football when the ball's wet and you have mud all over your hands.
No zip there, not a tight spiral. Pease makes a nice effort. Big Red, 4 wideouts in, single back.
Handoff, Hartman dives ahead to the 40-yard line.
It'll be 4th and about 4 or 5.
Gain of 6.
Big Red has no choice but to go for it. Senior fullback Luke Hartman, oh no, they're going to kick it away. And this will be DeSales' worst field possession of the night since the opening kickoff.
If you're DeSales, you come after the punt?
Well, knowing DeSales, they probably will.
They lined up as if they want to come.
Everybody likes to beat Big Red.
Low line drive kick. It'll be taken at the 28-yard line. Returned across the 35. Reverse field. And now we've got a man down and an injured Big Red player at midfield.
Nice effort.
On the
John
return,
Michael Ray on the tackle.
Jason Meyer on the return. An injured Big Red player down at midfield. Can't see the number.
You know, that makes things even worse. You're losing 32-0, and now you get an injury.
James Lyons, number 30, checking into the ball game for Big Red, and still can't see the number on the
injured Big Red player. So he's a linebacker. That might be a linebacker hurt. Lyons is a linebacker. Is that Kenefick?
Well, while they attend to this injured player, we'll take a timeout with 1:08 to go in the first half of play here at Harding Stadium on the Spot Bar scoreboard, 32-0 DeSales. Stadium, Justin Kenefick, the injured player, number 83. He is helped to the sideline DeSales has it 1st and 10 from the 38 with 1:08 to go on the clock, and the option goes nowhere on 1st down. On the stop for Big Red, Eric Dobson, number 85.
DeSales hasn't varied their game plan one bit from beginning to end of this first half. It's all been
would you?
Fullback dive, option right and left.
You've got the beef up front. Just run behind them.
Big football team right here physically. There's the same formation. 1 back, 3 receivers right.
Option down the line, handoff to the fullback.
Henderson off the right side, gets out.
Henderson on the carry. You can't even see his numbers now on the back of his jersey. Luther Henderson, number 32, 5'10", 205-pound junior.
And 4.
Clock down inside, 14 seconds to go, and DeSales says we're not going to run another play. We'll just let the clock wind down and the half run out, and they lead it as we go to halftime. 32-0. DeSales on top of Steubenville Big Red after an initial kick return and a big opportunity on their first offensive possession. It has been, for Big Red, it's been all DeSales. They lead it 32-0 on the Spot Bar scoreboard. Back with the halftime activities right after this. And welcome back to the WTOV 9 High School Football Game of the Week at the half on the Spot Bar scoreboard. Columbus DeSales 32, Steubenville Big Red nothing. Down on the field, Steubenville Big Red marching band. We will take a timeout and come back with more right after this. Good. Back at Harding Stadium, the Spot Bar scoreboard 32-0 DeSales on top of Steubenville Big Red. First round of the playoffs. Seminara gets the right leg into it. Short hop picked up by Addington. He's got some room to run. Flag on the play. Still on his feet, knocked down out at the 45-yard line, but this one may go back as we have a flag on the field.
Clip there, Bill. And to force the DeSales to do something they've only done one time in this game and start with the ball in their own field, half of the field. Twice by our top-notch statistician here, Tim McCoy, in the
first possession, they had the ball on the 3-yard line, their own 3-yard line. That was after Big Red's initial possession of the game. Then they had the ball on the Big Red 48, Big Red 36, Big Red 14, Big Red 49, Big Red 39, Big Red 33-yard line, and then their final possession, they had the ball at their own 38, and that's when they allowed the clock to run out at the end of the half. So if you want to talk about field position in the story of this game, it has gone all DeSales. They've had great field position, and they've used it to put the ball in the end zone. Addington on the option to the outside, dives ahead close to the 35-yard line, and an apparent first down for DeSales.
DeSales just starting where they're picking up where they left off there with the belly option. See Big Red's defensive end diving down for the coming down hard from the defensive end position, optioning the outside backer. Outside backer plays pitch and the quarterback keeps.
Option again, nothing doing. This time Big Red there, and that portion of the field, the center of the field inside the hash, is really starting to take a beating from the wet weather and the ground attack from DeSales, as it is really turning into just a bunch of mud.
Oh, you see the missed opportunity Big Red had early in the game, Bill, and then you talk about field position, but when it comes down to, Bill, is talent. I mean, look at DeSales. Look at it. Look at their offensive line. Look at their skill position. They're a big-time football team, and you know they've taken it to Big Red here early. Let's see if Big Red can play hard in the second half, play for pride.
Well, Big Red coming up big on second down. Short gain for DeSales. What do you think the conversation was like in the Big Red locker room?
Well, I think as a coach, you know, in a situation like this, you know, you touched on one thing, you know, come out, go down fighting if you're going down. But the other thing is try and keep your composure and just play hard. You know, play for pride, play hard, no quit. We don't want no quit in our football team. And that, you know, that I'm sure that's what they preached.
Looking to pass, and Addington makes the catch, but he can't get away from Justin Gerber. A loss on the play. And the punt team will come on for DeSales.
Nice play by Gerber, good one-on-one. He had the flare out. It was his responsibility. You can see the field conditions right there. And the little swing, Gerber's on the play.
No one back deep. Mike D'Angelo comes in late. He'll line up at the 40-yard line. Low end-over-end kick. D'Angelo will just get away from it, and the ball will come to a rest at the 34-yard line of Steubenville Big Red, and that's where the Big Red offense will take over. 1st and 10, and the crowd letting Big Red know that they appreciate the effort on the first defensive stand of the second half. Crowd giving Big Red's defense a nice response.
Sure, you got to let the kids know you're behind them. I mean, things ain't always going to go your way. You know, it's a new ball game here in the second half. Let's just try and win the second half. That's all you can hope for. Big Red had nobody up. Tried to go for the block on the last punt.
You ain't that close to me. I can't help you like that.
Nate Hubbard in at tailback for Big Red. Handoff inside. Liggett, that's going to go as a first down as he dives ahead to the 50-yard line. Fumble, but I think it's recovered by Big Red. And indeed it is.
Heads-up play right there. In the secondary, Justin Banks makes the play. Quick hitter inside the Liggett for Big Red's best offensive play to date. Right there, little trap. Liggett, nice play, stepping through a tackle into the open field. John Michael Ray staying on his block. Justin Banks scooping up the missed ball.
Justin Banks, a tough-as-nails alum from the game against East Liverpool. Selected the tough as nails player of the game. He has been all over the field tonight. D'Angelo running out of time, throws it short to Banks, who gets nailed, but he does pick up a couple of yards on the catch out across the 45-yard line, and positive yards for Big Red. D'Angelo waiting to the last moment, and Banks paid for it, but he holds on to the football.
You can see D'Angelo right here just held the ball a little bit longer than he probably wanted to, because we were running a deep out and up over here on this side, on the two receiver side, and it took a little bit more time than D'Angelo had. Too much pressure.
2nd down and 8 from the 44. Ray and Suckoch to the far side of the field. Stretch play with Hubbard. Looks to cut it up. He'll pick up about a yard on the play. Right in front of the DeSales bench. Clock continues to run inside of 8:30.
Gets about 1. Andy Wills defensively. Brings up 3rd down.
2 receiver substitution. Bring out the fullback and the receiver.
Liggett and Ray will sit down.
Got 3rd and long here, Bill.
Trips to the near side of the field. Hubbard lone back in the backfield with D'Angelo's in the gun. 3rd and long. D'Angelo outside and just incomplete. Suckoch, the intended receiver, defensive back, slipped down, but just a couple of yards too far towards the sideline. It goes incomplete, and Big Red will kick the football away.
See Mike D'Angelo right here. He had Suckoch open behind the safety. Michael just no footing, and you could just see that Michael still ain't getting a good grip on the ball. Good effort. Big Red got a punt.
4th down and 6 from the 43. D'Angelo looking to kick the football away. You may see a fake. No. He'll kick it away, and it'll be a high driving kick. It'll bounce, and just like a wedge shot, stops at about the 1-yard line, and they do not down it. I thought it would be down inside the 5-yard line, but it manages to get away from the coverage team, and it gets into the end zone. And
boy, Big Red let one get away right there. Bill had 5 guys around the ball. Like a hot potato, couldn't secure it.
End zone by Big Red. 1st and 10 on the touchback.
Michael D'Angelo. Wait.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for DeSales. 7:39 to go.
This is the area.
Play.
I'm sorry, Bill. This is the area where Big Red got to force a turnover. Give themselves a short field.
Option. Addington has the corner, has some running room, and he'll be stopped after 1st down yardage out close to the 35-yard line, and it looks like the DeSales player shaken up on the play.
Boy, Brian Pruitt from his safety position is forced to be involved, it looks to me, almost on every single play, because the running backs are into the secondary so quick against his Big Red defense. Pruitt making the play more often than not.
And we have an injured offensive lineman down for DeSales, and while he's attended to, we will take a timeout and come back with more right after this. Back and on the option, Addington has the carry. He now has 12 carries for 127 yards because there's no gain there. Ball came loose. Big Red got on the football, but he was whistled down. Loss on the play. 7 minutes to go, 3rd quarter of play. Big Red looking to come up with a defensive stop.
2nd down.
DeSales continues to spread Big Red out defensively, pound the middle and run the option.
Well, back to the middle they go, and Lyons comes up with the stop defensively, number 30. James Lyons, Jr., 6'1", 175-pounder.
Cross-buck action, you see the Washington Redskin tray, counter tray right there. Everybody uses it. Guard tackle pulling from the weak side, cleaning up, taking it back up into the hole and into the secondary, and it's 3rd and 5, Bill.
Big play here for the Big Red defense as they try to come up with back-to-back stops against the DeSales offense. Addington comes back around, and he won't get there. Pruitt came up, gave him a shot in the mouth to make sure he was going to stay down. Now we have some pushing and shoving. Luke Hartman getting involved. He was at the bottom of the pile on that tackle. He gave somebody a shove. I have to see if it's against Hartman or against DeSales.
There's a late flag.
Little counter action in the backfield. Addington getting inside. Lyons on the tackle. Hartman finishing up.
We have offsetting fouls.
Offsetting penalties. Ball was dead, so it'll just negate each other, and it'll bring up 4th down. So Big Red's defense has held, and DeSales will have to punt the ball away again here to start the second half, and that's great news for Steubenville Big Red and their defense. It's a
Bill,
that's right, Bill. Drives in a row.
Two things right there you could see in the second half, Bill. Better tackling and better field position. So, let's see if Big Red can turn things a little bit more in their favor.
D'Angelo back at the 25-yard line along with Anthony Suckoch. Low line drive kick. D'Angelo calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 23-yard line, and that's where Big Red will take over 1st and 10 with 5:47 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Well, Ray, Big Red's defense has come up with back-to-back stops. The offense, what do we do to get them started?
I still think you got to try and spread this field. I mean, you're without your starting tailback. Turner's in dress clothes. You're not getting any solid blocking on the offensive line. It may change a little bit here, but the DeSales are still going to come after D'Angelo because Big Red got to throw. So I'm still looking to throw short. You got 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. I'm putting the ball up every time.
Hubbard on the carry, nothing doing. The defensive line wins that battle for DeSales. And it'll bring up 2nd down and long.
Big Red, first half, Bill, would they have 16 yards rushing offensively, and that hasn't changed much in the second half here. DeSales just too much up front right now and throughout this game.
Pease to the near side, Ray to the far side. Play action, D'Angelo, plenty of time. Banks wide open, he'll have a 1st down and more. Gets past the tackler, he's out to the 40-yard line, and they use the tight end to pick up the 1st down out at the 40-yard line. And you can't say enough about Banks' season. He has been solid from game 1 through game 11 on offense and defense. He's been there. He's been a go-to guy on both sides of the football.
Well, I'll tell you, Bill, honest to God, you got to touch on it again. We touched on it against Buckeye Local. The success that this Big Red team has had this year, I think, is directly related to a group of seniors in Banks, D'Angelo, Turner, Suckoch, Hartman, Lester. I mean, you got guys been playing for 3 years, 3-year letterman, and this is a reward for them, and they got a lot to be proud about.
D'Angelo, Banks, he's got it. And Banks is inside the 25-yard line before he goes out of bounds. A big reception for the tight end, and you mentioned the seniors, Ray, and they come up with another completion, D'Angelo to Banks, as Big Red moves the ball inside the 30-yard line, down close to the 20.
Right, you talk about what ifs. Dry football now, no rain. This was Big Red's offensive game plan coming in. They felt this, Coach Radakovich and the coaching staff felt that this was their best shot to move the ball. Talk about what ifs, throwing the football. They got people open.
Big Red picked up about 8 yards on that spot. They finally caught a break tonight. He stepped out of bounds at about the 28, but the officials couldn't catch up. He was running away from him, and they got a great spot at the 20. But they're stopped on 1st down, so Big Red will face 2nd down and 10. You mentioned the seniors, and I know each game you do with Big Red on the game of the week, you try not to mention your son Anthony so much. I remember when he first started playing varsity ball, you were worried about getting him banged up and everything. How proud are you of him and what he's accomplished with Big Red football?
I can't tell you, Bill, on a personal note, how happy I am for the success that he's been able to enjoy. He's had a great high school football career, been involved in a great program, got some solid friends. He's made some solid friendships and relationships, and he's a happy kid. God bless him. I can't tell you how happy I am, and I appreciate you mentioning that, because I think if I would have said anything throughout the year, you would have got phone calls that I'm favoring him, but I have to favor him. He's everything I never was.
Right now, he's a part of that offense trying to get into the end zone, trying to get on the board for the first time tonight. 3:20 to go, third quarter play. Big Red, deepest possession since their opening drive. D'Angelo, plenty of time, looking for a receiver. Everybody covered. D'Angelo throws it up, and John Lester's there, and he's going to make the catch at the 15-yard line.
Boy, the footing is so bad. John Lester was walking on eggshells on his pattern. He couldn't even catch his balance and ended up coming back to the ball. You see D'Angelo all the time.
Great effort by D'Angelo.
Russell Kane knocking people down on the front line. And
talk about a wing and a prayer.
Looked like a Billy Gilmore pass right there.
Wasn't wobbly enough.
There you get a look at the Big Red offense right there.
Of course, Billy Kilmer on the over-the-hill gang Washington Redskins. D'Angelo, 4th and 5 for Big Red. From the gun, has time, swings it out to Liggett, and he'll be knocked down short of the first down. Dwayne Penn coming up and making the stop defensively for Desales, and Desales celebrated because they really want a shutout, and that's apparent from that celebration defensively. Big Red does a good job driving the football down the field.
See right there, the muddy ball right there. But this play wasn't there from the beginning. D'Angelo tried to look everybody off, but Penn was right there defensively. Had people open deep, but Desales read the play was going to be short.
Option down the line, and it's a blown defensive play. Look at Banks trying to get back in it with Pruitt. Banks may catch him.
Wow.
But he is going to get into the end zone. Rosano goes all the way for the touchdown. But I'll tell you what, there's no quitting that Big Red squad. You can see that as they tried to track him down. Yet they blew the option, and they didn't make the right defensive read. But I'll tell you what, you had 11 Big Red players chasing him down the sideline as hard as they could go. They just didn't have enough to catch him.
This option is creating nightmares for Big Red. You can see
everybody
Pruitt,
went inside.
Sure, Pruitt the safety, the lone man back. He bit on the inside play. Mechanically, Rosano got to be solid and sound. Justin Banks making an effort, and I think that epitomizes, just like you said, Bill, the effort of the Big Red team. Just can't get it done this evening. 2 minutes to go, 38-0, third quarter.
2:05 left on the third quarter clock. Big Red trails it 38-0 on the Spot Bar scoreboard. We'll take a timeout, come back with more right after this. And welcome back to the Spot Bar scoreboard. Desales, yeah, we've just erased it. We don't want to look at it.
I'm tired of looking at it.
And there's Banks on the sideline. Talk about a guy that wants it. He epitomizes Big Red football. No give up in that body.
Right, Bill, we got to talk about it at the break right there. That you got to hope. We talked about the seniors making their second playoff appearance. Did it as sophomores. Got beaten in the regionals. Got a kid like Abbott right here. You got John Michael Ray. You got Brian Pruitt. You got a sophomore and junior laden team with only 12 seniors on the team. You got to hope that this is their motivation. A lot to learn on this about things ain't going to go your way all the time, but keep playing hard. I think that's one thing you can always count on. I think any coach in Big Red would always tell you, one thing you could always count on from a Big Red kid is the fact that you're going to get an effort. And Big Red will keep playing hard, but you got to hope that your sophomores and juniors use this as their off-season motivation.
Outside, there's Ray, who you just talked about. John Michael Ray with the reception. Junior, 5'11", 150-pound wide receiver. It is a first down for Steubenville Big Red.
Stay with that point, Bill, about the younger kids. Big Red's a young football team. We said at the outset that we thought that they were a bunch of overachievers. You can remember all the way back to the 1981 season, the first time Big Red, made the playoffs, went up and and played Youngstown Mooney, got beat 50-0 or something to that effect. Come back, those kids as sophomores were on that team. Charlie Keenan, they end up winning the state championship 2-3 years later.
I don't know if we can get a shot of the sideline, but Justin Kenefick, number 83, he's banged up, hurt his leg. He hasn't been back in the ball game. He's trying to loosen up on the sideline. You want to talk about the heart of Big Red? You can see it right there. A kid that's probably hurt, probably shouldn't even be thinking about going back in the game. He's trying to get loosened up. He's running from the 20 to the 20, just trying to get someone to notice him and put him back in the football game.
Sure, it's no condolence now, Bill, just the fact that you're in the playoffs. But, like I saw the excitement in my son's eyes and his friend's eyes.
Take a look at him. The senior, he doesn't want to go away yet. He wants to get out there in the football field and hit somebody.
Sure, and even the cheerleaders had a hoop for the kids to run in, and that was their focus. We're in it to win it. It was like that all week at school. After the Liverpool win, the kids were excited. The school was excited. I know the administration was real happy with the fact that these kids represented Big Red like champions all season, and they set the tone for what should be 2 or 3 solid years of Big Red football.
1st and 10 from the 33. D'Angelo play action, puts it on the hip, looking for some room to run, gets it, and he'll be knocked down at about the 40-yard line. Clock continues to run, and that may do it for the 3rd quarter of play. Now, the one thing, you're in it to win it. The one thing that we mentioned, the season 8-2, you can't take away the fact that for the regular season, top team in the region. That's something that is in the record books. They're going to be the number 1 team in the region.
A lot of accomplishments here, for this team. OVAC champions. Great effort throughout them, 8-2. Kenefick still trying to get loose. That's amazing. He's not going to come back in.
Hubbard.
Go look at
First
sophomore
down.
right there, Nate Hubbard, 45.
And that'll end the 3rd quarter of play. Big Red trails it 38-0. But Big Red not going away here at Harding Stadium on the Spot Bar scoreboard. 38-0 Desales over Big Red. Back with the 4th quarter right after this. And welcome back. Mark Zinni down on the sideline with Joel Banks. WTOV9, Joel Banks running the camera. Mark Zinni carrying the cable. And that is incomplete. Intended receiver Liggett. D'Angelo, good job just to get away from the pressure.
Immediate pressure on Mike. Play action pass. Desales isn't biting. Big Red's got to throw the ball to get to the end zone. They're not going to get there running it.
Shenandoah 20, Barnesville 7. That's in the 4th.
See Ray in for the sophomore Abbott. You look at the Big Red roster, sophomores and juniors everywhere, Bill. And these kids will have the opportunity next year, just like these seniors did, to do what Big Red always talks about, add to the tradition.
D'Angelo throwing, Michael Ray, the intended receiver. Desales kind of questioning where he was throwing, but they say it's not a grounding penalty, and D'Angelo will come over to the sideline and wipe down. How many towels did everyone go through tonight?
Not enough. Here's Jesse Turner. You got to look at Jesse on the sideline. Wasn't able to play last week.
What a shame. He had a great season, and then banged up his knee, and unfortunately has been limited in tonight's game. And last week did not play, but for 9 games, as good a running back as you'd find in the Ohio Valley.
Sure, over 1,200 yards, had a great career. And you can see the heir apparent right there in Nate Hubbard. Big Red's tailback next year. Looking ahead to Big Red. Big Red had a solid season, good group of freshmen. Had an outstanding year with Steve Rappella with the reserve team quarterback. The reserves had a good year. So there's talent down there, and like we said, we had a lot of sophomores and juniors playing varsity ball.
What happens to the sophomores and juniors? They get the year to grow, a year more in the weight room.
Right. And this is the motivation, Bill, the playoffs. I mean, like you talk about, having that major upside of, getting to the playoffs, and now you're dealing with this downside. But the fact is, Bill, you made it. You made it. There's a lot of teams sitting at home right now that didn't have this opportunity. Things just didn't work out for you. Two-men move.
You get that taste in your mouth of we've been in the playoffs. Yeah, we took a beating, but we've got to get back. You don't want to.
It's a penalty before there's two men in motion here prior to the snap. That's going to go against Big Red. But D'Angelo on a straight drop out. You see right there, he didn't get a good feel of the ball. You know, he's supposed to throw the ball, and he's flipping the ball over, trying to find the dry spot.
That was not a dead ball foul.
And I look down at the sideline, and Kennefic continues to run up and down. He's getting stronger. He's getting stronger. The training staff is trying to tell him, hey, relax, don't worry about it. But he is just not going to be told he's not going back in this ball game.
Well, you made the main point. You know, he's a senior. He's there. He doesn't want to end it on the bench. He wants to end it on the field.
Pitch to the outside. Some New Jerseys in that lineup for DeSales. On the carry now, number 5.
Brad
Devendorf. Brad Devendorf
knocked down by John Lester.
on the carry. It'll bring up second down and about 9 for DeSales.
Gain of 1, second and 9.
See a wing-back option this side from the weak side. Banks on nice pursuit down the line of scrimmage. Good tackle. DeSales continues to spread them out. Fumble. And Big Red
has it. So recovery for Big Red and a break for Big Red as they get the football and they're back on offense with pretty good field position at the DeSales 40-yard line. Well, they're going to spot it back at the 36-yard line.
There's Justin Banks. Get a look at Banks right there.
John Madden would be proud to see a shot like that.
Sure. Center quarterback exchange right there. Ball gets kicked out. Justin secures it. See Big Red, 2 receivers right. I backfield.
Hubbard slips and slides and gets the cut back, and he picks up about 7 yards. Justin Banks has been on the spot a couple times with some loose footballs. He gets the recovery there. And, of course, earlier in the first half, ball came loose, I believe, on Sean Liggett's run. And Banks able to make the recovery. 9:45 to go here in the ball game. 38-0. DeSales on top of Steubenville Big Red.
DeSales band's partying.
Ball's on the ground. D'Angelo loses the handle. But it'll be Big Red getting the football back. Third down now and about 5 for Big Red at their own 41-yard line.
More substitutions in.
Lester and Suckoch in the game. Ray and Liggett come out.
Big Red offense right there. Continue to wonder what if. Playing in a quagmire.
Or quagmire.
Quagmire.
He swings it outside. Lester, the intended receiver. It's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. Big Red will send the punting unit on with the ball at their own 41.
I want to correct a correct pronunciation on that word. Every time I use that word, you change it.
That's the first time I've ever heard you use that
No,
word.
that's not
That's
true.
a $5 word on a rainy day.
Baby.
D'Angelo will punt. He stands back at his 29-yard line. Snap is good. Plenty of time. Kicks it away.
Good
nice
punt.
Strong punt. That'll hit at about the 26. Roll back to the 29-yard line. We will take a timeout with 8:33 to go in this playoff matchup. DeSales still leads at 38-0 on the Spot Bar scoreboard. Spot Bar scoreboard, 38-0. DeSales on top of Steubenville Big Red with 8:32 to go in the football game. Bill Phillips along with Ray Suckoch. We have flags on the plan. First down motion penalty against DeSales as we take a look at our referee for tonight's game. He will have the ball spotted. Motion penalty against DeSales. Nothing doing on the option. Boomer Brandenstein, your new quarterback. He wears number 15, 6'1", 175-pound sophomore. Boomer Brandenstein, and at quarterback wearing number 15.
It's a name to play football with. Kind of like Ryan Wrecker.
The Wrecking Crew.
Ryan Wrecker.
The option has gone away from DeSales, and it looks like Banks has the football, so he's got another one. Takes it away from the running back, and it'll be Big Red football at the 20-yard line. Be interesting to see if that starting defense for DeSales comes back out on the field to try and preserve a shutout with 7:51 to go, and Banks having himself a big evening.
Three fumble recoveries on the night. Senior two-way in, Justin Banks just stripped the ball right there. Just stripped it.
He was tough as nails against East Liverpool, and I think he would have that award locked up once again.
And he's part of the quagmire down there, Bill.
1st and 10, option, Hubbard on the carry, and he's across the 20-yard line, pickup of a couple.
The quickness of DeSales' defense, boy. On D'Angelo, to force the pitch immediately. Hubbard had running room for about a second. And they closed it down for a short gain. Sophomore tailback Nate Hubbard.
Attention, Melissa Crossley. Melissa Crossley, please come to the press box. Melissa Crossley. Timeout, Big Red.
Big Red calling a timeout.
Confusion there, confusion with the formation or the offensive set.
They may have been in danger of substitution penalty. As it looked like they broke the huddle.
There you
one
go,
of the players
Billy.
that broke the huddle. There we are, up here in the press.
There
You know
you
who's
go,
got that
Billy.
shot? As we wave over to the Nacho Man, Don Sloan. He has been out in the elements tonight.
So there you go, buddy.
He's not even looking at us anymore. He's just looking in the camera and Ray Sucker. Good shot of the press box.
That's right. There's
the Nacho Man. There he is.
All 400 pounds of him. Look at him. Look at him. Jeez, look at him. My God, look at my man. Shit.
He's got the rain gear on, and I'll tell you what, my man has had some good food this football season.
Oh,
Friday nights on Sports Friday, he has been all over the valley.
And my man Jody Albert got something special for him down at the small bar, too. Oh, he's eating hot dogs while look at it. He's chewing on a hot dog now. Look at him. He's been a hot dog. He's been a wingman.
He did the game last week, final regular season game for Toronto and Steubenville Central, as D'Angelo goes. Oh, great catch from Hubbard as he reaches behind and makes a fantastic grab. He's close to first down yardage, but what a catch by Nate Hubbard.
Billy, you were right, Billy. Justin Kennefic wasn't going to end the game on the bench. He's back in at tight end.
Fantastic.
All them wind sprints he did got him ready.
Fantastic. What
nice
a grab.
Catch. What an adjustment by Hubbard.
Well, Don apparently ordered pizza last week, and he got it delivered here in the press box, and I guess it was something special. Ryan Recker couldn't believe it. He didn't realize Don had that much pull.
I'll tell you what, I caught a couple of them Sports Fridays. I've seen the nacho in action, but you know what the most impressive thing is? What he doesn't eat goes home with him, man. He got more to-go orders than anybody. The Sloans out in Hopedale, they're eating for a week on Sports Friday.
Big Red interested in putting one in the end zone. 6:56 to go. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Kennefic in the ball game at tight end on the left side of the line, number 83, as Hartman goes in motion. I formation. Here comes Hubbard. Takes a couple of shots. He'll pick up a few yards before he's pushed back.
Well, this is all about pride right here, Bill. You know, you have to wonder with the ball control that DeSales has, how many more opportunities Big Red's going to get to be down inside the red zone and try and get a score tonight, because you know they want to avoid that goose egg.
And you know
very
this
badly.
isn't. You know this isn't about trying to set yourself up for a field goal. This is we want in the end zone.
No question. Inside the 10-yard line, second down. They're thinking 6.
And Suckoch split to the far side of the field. D'Angelo under center. Hand off to Hubbard. Has a couple of blockers out in front. He'll get to the corner and down to the 5-yard line. Clock continues to run. First down can be picked up at about the 1.
2 more cracks at it. Crossbuck action. Nate Hubbard trying to get to the perimeter. DeSales is quick to the ball. 3rd and 5 from the 5.5.
Big Red taking a long time getting this play in.
They want nothing more. These seniors want nothing more than to avoid a goose egg.
They need to get up to the line of scrimmage. That clock winding continues to roll. Pease comes in motion. Hand off Hubbard behind his offensive line. He'll be close to a first down. Maybe about 2 lengths of the football short. It'll be 4th and maybe 1.5 feet.
Look at these goal liners coming in on the goal line defense. 4 monsters they're bringing off the bench. Hubbard on the crossbuck, getting down close, a little bit short. DeSales bring in Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen in their front 4 in their goal line stand.
4 carries, 12 yards on this drive for Hubbard.
Brian Pruitt's in. Look for the halfback pass.
Crowd comes to their feet. Pruitt, quarterback, throwing back. They have him. D'Angelo, touchdown, Big Red. Fantastic. Big Red gets on the board. Ray, you had it called all the way, and D'Angelo with a nice grab. Pruitt with a nice pass, and Big Red gets on the board. And a standing ovation from the Big Red faithful in the stands.
Well, you got to be happy for the kids. I mean, you know, they're taking advantage of a turnover here, and here you can see the end of it. Brian Pruitt, next year's quarterback, hopeful, to D'Angelo, this year's quarterback. 6 points, and they're on the board in their final game in Harding Stadium. They're going to go for 2.
D'Angelo rolls, has man, corner of the end zone. Hubbard, he gets the 2-point conversion. 38-8, fire up Big Red on top of the scoreboard, and let's have at it. Let's see some flames.
Attaboy, Bill. I like that enthusiasm, Bill. You can play on my team anytime.
38-8, DeSales on top of Big Red is on the board. We're back with more after this.
Ball.
Big Red, lot of substitutions on this kickoff team.
Yeah, 6'3", 290, 33. You get that in-house TV up there.
Big Red making a number of wholesale substitutions on the kickoff coverage team. Right before the kick, I saw Reno Suckoch come over. He took out Anthony Suckoch and made a substitution, and it's all fresh jerseys down there other than Pruitt and Abbott and the kicker Seminara. And I think for Reno and the coaching staff to say, you know what, we got our guys on the board. Now it's time to get some kids in there that have an opportunity to taste a little bit of the playoffs. You know,
make them hungry.
Yeah.
Make them hungry. Football teams are made in the off season, no question about it. I mean, the weight room, I think since Big Red has been on their run from about 1981, 82 on, the big difference in football anywhere is the weight room, and I think Big Red has taken full use of that because of the size of their kids. Nobody is as big as they used to be, especially Big Red. So the weight room is the key. You got to sell that weight room, Bill. You got to sell it.
High end over end kick. It'll come down to the 20-yard line. And Big Red, good coverage.
Still playing hard. Get somebody down there, number 28, making the tackle. Don't even have an S on his helmet.
You got to earn the S.
Well, you know, like I think Big Red is. I think Big Red's dressing their freshmen tonight too.
Yep.
So everybody's getting in.
The atmosphere.
No question. And this is how you build on it. Big Red's philosophy has always been, you know, don't be, you know, add to the tradition your own way. And the seniors in this year's team, they've done that. They've got to the playoffs, the goal of everybody, and they achieved their goal.
Our man Kennefic back in the ball game. He has about 9 rolls of tape on that left ankle, it looks like, but he is in the game. He was going to get back in there and get on the field, and he is on the field as we get into the final 4:18 to go. 38-8 our scores. We take a look at the Big Red Band. Another fine season from the Big Red Marching Band, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Big Red coaching staff for all of their help this year. Always enjoy working with Reno Suckoch and his staff, and the kids have been a pleasure to work with, and you've been a pleasure to work with this year. So I have enjoyed it again, and would like to thank the Big Red administration for all of their help this season as we've enjoyed the ride into the playoffs. I still need a hat. I don't know where you got that hat tonight, but you know, you came in, and well, you gave me a cigar.
Oh, you
Look at a little Fuente out of you, so that's not too bad.
You get a Fuente out of me every week. Every week you get a Fuente out of me. You and Lee Gilliston, you guys are killing me.
That was a look at Mike D'Angelo's helmet. Quarterback has had a fine career here at Big Red. And on the carry, Desales out close to first down yardage across the 40-yard line. And how about Mike D'Angelo? Started off, he's been a 3-year starter now for Steubenville Big Red at quarterback.
Michael's had a fine year. Was a little bit of question worried about him this year. He hurt his elbow.
And the baseball season last year.
Throwing the baseball, there was a little bit of concern for him, but he come back, he bounced back. I know he needed one completion to be the all-time completion leader, but I'll tell you what, Michael, you know, you talk about Justin Banks epitomizing the Big Red defense. I mean, you can't say enough, and I'm biased on this, but I'll tell you, this senior group, I've had an opportunity to be with them because of my son since Little League Baseball, and you know, 7, 8 years old, and just seeing them come up together and allowing them to share these experiences, you know, and be looked at as winners. I mean, that's important. Everybody wants to be a star for 5 minutes. And everybody enjoys their time in the sun, and you know, you gotta be happy for that, Bill. And I am, and I know the Big Red family is.
I know the WTOV9. Very excited for Big Red success. Of course, we pull for all of the OVAC schools. We'd love to see everybody win each and every week, but that, of course, is impossible. But we really do enjoy working with Steubenville Big Red and the other schools from around the valley. It's been a fun 2001 to watch the football season, and hopefully for some other teams that have reached the playoffs in Ohio and West Virginia, we'll have some more football to bring you, because we're looking forward to more playoff action. And to those teams that didn't quite make it into the playoffs this year but had successful seasons, we look forward to seeing them again next year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. I think TV9, you know, I think that's a great thing to see yourself on TV, you know, at this level for these kids, and what TV9 has going here in this game of the week. These kids sit around and they watch these games, and everybody tapes these games. And I know the coaches hate it because they're all scouting, you know, they're all scouting tools for other teams. But the kids love this, and to be recognized, that's what it's all about. And nobody does better than TV9. Now, Tim, can I get a check? Can I get a check, Tim? What's up?
Oh, the one and only. That's it. We've cut Ray's mic. Desales punting the football away, and Mike D'Angelo comes up and makes a catch at the 35-yard line, and that's where Big Red will take over. With 2:03 to go on the clock, let's take a look at the players of the game and the tough as nails player of the game. Columbus Desales, Andrew Addington, the running back. Could have gone to the quarterback as well, Rosano, but we're going to go with the running back who had a big game. And how about Michael Abbott on special teams? Also played on defense, but he had a fantastic night in terms of returning the football for Big Red and giving them good field position on the kick return. So we give it to Michael Abbott. And the Tough as Nails award, second straight time, Justin Banks. He has been solid both offensively and defensively for Big Red as D'Angelo finds Joe Pease across the middle, finds a seam, and he's out to the 45-yard line at Desales. So congratulations to our players of the game and to our Tough as Nails recipient for this week, Justin Banks.
See D'Angelo straight drop back. Oh, my mic's still on. D'Angelo straight drop back. Good, strong throw. You can see he's getting a better grip on the ball. I mean, just horrendous field positions, field conditions to start with, and nothing you can do about it. And the season's coming very close to a close here.
1:35 left to go on the stadium clock.
And there you are, passing the torch right there, D'Angelo to Pruitt. Pruitt replacing D'Angelo, quarterback.
And Mike D'Angelo getting a fine ovation from the crowd that is still here at Harding Stadium. They appreciate his efforts over the course of his career, and he had an outstanding senior season, leading Big Red to the postseason. Right now, second down and option play, handoff to Liggett coming through, and I think he'll have the first down yardage out at the 35-yard line. Clock will stop with 1:05. Big Red, maybe they sneak another one in here before the clock runs out.
Let's hope so.
And Justin Banks will check out of the game, and he will receive a nice ovation from the Harding Stadium crowd and a big hug from his head coach. Justin Banks, he left it all on the field tonight.
I'll tell you, it's a special moment for me, Bill.
Liggett. Substitutions coming in. Checking out.
Joe Healy coming in, going to replace Joe Pease. Dominic Harper came in, senior tight end, to replace Banks prior to that. And, you know, you could say something about those seniors right there that played the specialty teams role. Joe Healy, Dominic Harper, throughout the season played specialty team roles. It's not easy for a senior to not be part of the action all the time, Bill. It shows a lot about their character, and I think football builds character more than any other sport. I believe football does that.
And that brings the game to a close. Desales will win it the final 38-8. Desales on top of Steubenville Big Red. The season has come to an end for Steubenville Big Red, but it was a very, very successful year as Big Red reaches the playoffs as the top team in their region with an 8-2 record. They fall short today against an outstanding Desales team, but nothing to hang their heads about. Big Red has had an outstanding 2001. That does it for our Game of the Week coverage tonight. On the Spot Bar scoreboard, Desales 38, Steubenville Big Red 8. Until next time, I'm Bill Phillips for Ray Suckutch and the rest of the WTOV9 team. Good night, everybody.